Yep. Absolutely. Well, please welcome home our new defensive line coach, Travian Robertson.
Thank you, Coach.
Got it, man. Appreciate it.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. It's good to be back. Coach Beamer, I thank you for bringing me back home. For me, this is not something that's been that's just happened because I was coaching. This is something I dreamed about for a long time. I remember when I was in the league playing, and I had talked to plenty of people asking me what I want to do when I was finished, and I had no idea at the time. But I told a guy, a real good friend of mine, I said I think I want to coach, and I think Coach Spurrier was still here at the time, and he kept telling me to call Coach Spurrier, stay in contact with Coach Spurrier. And for whatever reason, I never contacted Coach Spurrier because just like Coach said, I wanted to do it in a different way. I didn't want to just be entitled to a position just because I played here or just because I, was a captain here or graduated from here. I wanted to go through and make sure I wanted to coach because it's not for everybody. And so for me, I could say this, as I was driving to the airport this morning, I was thinking of my road to coaching, and one thing I came up with is it was always connected with Gamecocks. And I'm gonna tell you the story. As soon as I got done at 15 playing ball, I lived like 2 miles from Peachtree Ridge High School, where Coach Fleetwood, he was a kicker here, and I didn't know that. And I walked in his office and told him I was interested in coaching. So that's a former Gamecock right there that gave me an opportunity. Then Coach Elliott had took the head coaching job from here to Georgia State, and I knew he was busy. I knew just like getting a head coaching job, everybody was hitting him up. So I knew he wasn't going to respond to my Facebook message. I knew he wasn't respond to my text. And so he had hired a former Gamecock, Cedric Williams. And Cedric answered my phone call and got me connected with Coach Elliott. So that's another Gamecock that helped me get connected with my second job. And Coach Elliott, he didn't play here, but he coached here, and he will always be a Gamecock. So him hiring me as his D-line coach in 2019 really helped me. And I called him yesterday and thanked him for that because without him believing in me as a young guy just finishing the NFL, I wouldn't be here right now. So I thank Coach Elliott for that, Coach Said for answering my phone call. But then leaving Georgia State to go to Albany as my first ever, head D-line job. No one knows this, but Corey Peoples was a former Gamecock. And all this is just something I thought of this morning. And I was like, man, Gamecock's been helping me, connect with my coaching career. And so Corey Peoples was the defensive coordinator at Albany State, and I thank him he didn't know much about me as a coach. He just heard good things about me, He just said, hey, I remember the phone call, he said, look, man, you're a Gamecock, you coaching, and I want to help you. And so I'm thankful for that. And just to go back to Georgia State, and then again, coached at Georgia State for 3 years, and all of a sudden I get another text message from another former Gamecock, Chris Hampton. Chris Hampton, he played here when I was here. He was a senior when I was a freshman, and all I remember is, man, this dude was smart, very smart dude. I saw him coach as a player. I actually witnessed him coach some of the greatest Gamecocks that ever came through here, and to have the opportunity to coach with him last year was huge for me. So without Gamecocks and the way we connect and the way we do things, I wouldn't be here right now. So, Coach Beamer, I'd like to thank you, but I just want to thank all the Gamecocks that helped me get here because, like I said, this was a dream that I've been praying for a long time. And like I said, I didn't know where I want to coach or not, what I wanted to do, but as I was playing, I always kept my notes as a player. I just kept them. And I pull them out today to show guys like, hey, this is the way we take notes. But I always prepared to be in this position. But I'm so grateful to be here. I can't wait to get my family down here. This is not a place where I just played at. I have roots here. I chose to come here in 2007, and I remember Coach Lauren telling me, he said, Travian, when you choose whatever school you choose, that's the school where you're going to meet your wife. That's the school where you're going to have the best man in your wedding. That's the school where you're going to create lifelong memories. And I met my wife here. She didn't just run track here. She's an SEC champion. Also. She graduated from here. So this is home for me. I got married here, right on campus in the Horseshoe. You know, this city of Columbia has been great to my family. I got to give a shout out to Andy Daly at Daly's. I have to because he allowed me to have my son's first birthday party there. He allowed me to have my baby shower there, and he always welcomed me. And then heard the news that he passed away. It hit me hard because he always been great to me. And so just to be back home where I started at, and to think that God, you know, I always pray specifically for things I wanted. And I wanted this so bad, and I wanted to do it the right way. And I know all the Gamecocks and players and former Gamecocks, I understand, but it's all God's timing. You know, everyone's saying about time, and I don't look at it that way. I think God has moved me at the time He wanted me to be wherever I wanted to be. And everyone has always said, what's next for you? And my answer to this day is, whenever God moved me, that's when I'm going to go. So when Coach Beamer called me, I was in the house by myself, and my wife and kids was at track practice. And as soon as I hooked up the phone, I got on my knees and started praying because it was all God. And so I'm glad to be back. But I just want to say thank you to all the Gamecocks, all the former Gamecocks. Anyone that's out there that's doing, you know, we got a lot of Gamecocks out there doing great things. Coaching, entrepreneurs, even on the track side, basketball side, Gamecocks is nationwide. And a lot of things that, you know, most Gamecock fans don't see, but we got people out here doing really, really good things that actually walk through these buildings that graduated from here, and they married now, got businesses, and they're doing good. And one thing I love is what I just said, we always take care of each other. And I love that about this place. And my whole purpose of being here is to be a great coach on the Beamer ball. You know, I played on the Coach Spurrier area. It was a great area. We had a lot of great times. But the way where this place is going right now with Coach Beamer, it's exciting. It's very exciting. And I thank God for the timing because I feel great when I walked in here. There's good vibes everywhere. And I'm just so excited to be here. But I just want to say thank you to all the former Gamecocks that played when I played, everybody that supported me, all the Gamecock Nation that tweeted me, texted me, called me, and really been rooting for me to get this position for a long time. I'm not just here because I'm a former player. I'm here because I was a great player here, and I want to be even better coach here. I left a statement. I thought I left a statement as a player, but I want to make a bigger impact as a coach and give back to these kids. A lot of guys that come in, they want to do things. They want to make it to the NFL, and you know, I was the same way. I was the same way as a player, and I figured it out, and I put my head down and I kept working. And no matter what came my way, good, bad, or ugly, I just kept going. And it's no day it's going to be a perfect day, but that's the way I operate. And I'm looking forward to coaching these guys up. I'm looking forward for a lot of ball games. I'm looking forward for recruiting in the great state of South Carolina and all over. But I love this place. My wife loved this place, and we're going to be forever grateful for Coach Beamer, Coach Clayton White giving me the opportunity to come back.
How's it going, Trey?
How you doing?
David Cloninger from the Post-Courier. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Coach Beamer mentioned that he made one phone call. Once you got that phone call, were you immediately thinking yes? I mean, if he offers, and once he made that offer, how soon did it take you to answer?
Well, like I said, I was on the phone with my wife, and I told him the story in the call. She was like, "Hey, I'm gonna take the boys to track, and you got dinner." And she had the dinner, and I was calling her to figure out how to what to put the food on, like the temperature. And I said, "Hold on, Coach Beamer is calling me." And she's like, "All right, call me back." And like I said, I was in the house by myself, and it took me about 2 hours to cook that food after he called me. So, man, I was excited. My heart dropped. And it was time when a draft was going on or just about to start. And I felt like I was getting drafted all over again.
Hey, Travian, Mike, you have a Gamecock Central. You mentioned timing. I mean, as an alum, I'm sure you've been paying attention to the program the best you can while also doing your other coaching duties. But to see where the program is now and also knowing how big of a part you were when South Carolina had the heyday for football here, how excited are you to be coming home now?
I'm super excited. Obviously, I was coaching, and it was hard for me to kind of watch every game. But when I had time to watch the things that I saw, the things that I witnessed, I saw this program going in the right direction, especially after, finishing the way we finished last year. So, just like coaches do their research on their hires, I do my research too. And a lot of things I've been hearing is this place is going in the right direction, and I witnessed it, and now I'm here to help be a part of it.
Alan Cole, GamecockCentral.com. You mentioned this program developing, kind of evolving since you've been here, but how have you developed and evolved as a coach from maybe when you started at Georgia State, going to Albany State, versus where you are now in terms of coaching young men?
So I think for me, it didn't start when I started coaching. For me, I was blessed to be coached by some great coaches. Ray Hamilton was one of my coaches. First of all, Coach Lauren, he was a great coach here. Me and him developed a relationship a long time ago. When he was at North Carolina, he offered me when I was a freshman in high school. And my biggest thing on coaching is relationship with my players. My coaches made a huge impact on me growing up because I spent a lot of time. I spent more time with coaches than I did with my parents. And so when I say that, I have a high school coach that coached me that's literally working in Columbia right now. And, we stay in contact every month, every other day, and he's coached me in high school. Me and Coach Lauren talk probably twice a month. And so the relationship that I built with my coaches was what helped me become the man I am today. And so when I became a coach myself, I wanted to do the same thing because I know how special it felt for me to know that a coach cared, and the coach didn't look at me just as a football player. The coach helped me with life things. The coach helped me with jobs. The coach taught me about being a father. My coach taught me about being, a husband. And so once I got the opportunity, I wanted to give back the same way my coaches gave to me. As far as my demeanor, how I coach, Brian Cox, Ray Hamilton, Coach Lauren, even my high school coach, Coach Parrish, they really poured a lot into me as a player. And so I'm just really giving back now and trying to do the same things that my coach did to me to make me a great player.
Hey, I'm Hal McGranahan with thebigspur.com. You mentioned the story about Coach Long, and before you signed here, I guess I just wanted to know if you had any good Coach Long stories after you were here and playing for him and around him for those few years.
No, Coach Long he was great for me. I really don't have no stories about Coach Lauren. He's a special guy for me, and our relationship that we had is a lot different than others. But one thing I could say, it was fun. It was real fun. He helped us practice hard. As you know, Clowney, Melvin, all of us. And one thing I do know is he called me one night and he told me, he said, Travian, he said, I really didn't coach you guys. He said, you guys played your butt off. I just made sure y'all stayed out of trouble. And he was like, so you guys was great players. And he said, you guys helped me out more as a coach than I did you guys as a player. So he really, really poured his all into us, and we played for him. We played fast for him, but he got a special place in his heart for me because, like I said, he offered me when I was a puppy in high school, and he was at one school, and then he was at one school and came over to the Great Carolina, and he offered me here. And once I saw that he believed in me at multiple stops, I trusted him, and he helped me become the player that I was when I was here.
Hey, Travian, Pete Iacobelli with the AP. Nice to see you again. Talking about your time here as a player and what you guys accomplished, how can that help you kind of infuse these guys who you're going to coach with the possibility of what South Carolina can accomplish? How can your experience here help with that?
I think just being myself. Most coaches, if you haven't realized, most coaches just really being themselves. As a player, like Coach Beamer said, I was serious. I was a captain, and I knew. We had some down years when I was here, but I wasn't in that captain role or that leadership role. But I knew once that I was able to get that role. I knew I had a vision of what I wanted the team to be. And that's all coaching is. Coach Beamer has a vision. Coach White has a vision. I have a vision. And so we all come together, and as a player, as a captain, you have a vision of what do you want the team to be. And so what's going to help me is just being myself. I have a vision to be one of the best D linemen and defensive line in the conference. So if that's my vision, then I'm just going to be myself, because we was one of the best defensive linemen in the conference. So me coaching, it's just the same as me playing. I'm just not playing no more. My mentality is still dominate mentality coaching. I coach hard. I demand excellence in practice. You're gonna play how you practice, and we practice hard every day out here on that field. And so I don't expect nothing less than that. So just being myself. That's in recruiting, coaching. It's just being yourself. Players want realness these days. They don't want fake coaches. They see through that. And so as a player, I saw through that. I read through all the crap that coach was giving me. And you kind of hold coaches accountable. So for me, I'm just going to be myself. I could tell you this story. Throughout coaching, you do get frustrated sometimes, and I never forget one time I came home and my wife saw it on my face, and she was like, "What's going on?" I was like, I just don't think I could be myself. I was really frustrated, and she looked at me. She was like, "Being yourself was what got you here," and that was the biggest advice that my wife gave me. Like I said, she's a champion, so she gives me advice, and it woke me up. And I'm like, "You're right." So I'm not going to change who I am as a person. I'm just going to follow Coach Beamer's vision, and I'm just going to be me.
Hey, Travian. Ben Portnoy from the State. You mentioned Coach Elliott. I mean, I know he gave you your first coaching job, but, working for him and getting that first shot coming out of the NFL, what was that kind of genesis of getting that and working with him? And I guess kind of what impact has he had on you? I mean, I know he coached your brother as well at App State and all, but.
We built the relationship. Me and Coach Elliott built like a love-hate relationship when I was here playing. He was the O-line coach. I played D-line, and, he's a fiery guy. So I liked it. And he came, and we talked junk to each other. So that was him as a person, and we all know. And, and so once I got to Georgia State, so grateful that he gave me the opportunity to GA. And the first thing he told me was, "I want you to coach." And he helped me out tremendously with that. But, it was fun. It was fun, and I wanted to grow as a coach, and so he helped me, a lot. He called me back after I left. He called me back, so I was thankful for that. So that shows me that he trusted and believed in what I was doing.
Hey, Emily Adams from the Greenville News. Shane mentioned you're kind of liking you as a recruiter specifically. Are there differences in sort of transitioning to recruiting at the Power 5 level versus, how you recruit at Tulane or Georgia State, or do those skills kind of carry up to this level as well?
I don't think it's no difference. Like I said, as soon as I stepped foot in the building, we started on recruiting right away. And so, like I said, it's just being yourself recruiting, whether it's on D2, whether it's on Power 5, you got to be yourself. And so that's what I plan on doing. I understand it is Power 5. I've been recruited in the Power 5 level. I've been recruited in the SEC level. So I know what it takes. I know what it's like, and I'm prepared.
Colin Taylor from Gamecock Central. Do you remember the food that took you 2 hours to cook?
Salmon.
And
salmon.
Yeah, and I know you probably haven't had a whole lot of time to do your homework on what you're inheriting on this roster, but what in film study or just watching a game have you seen from this defensive line group you got?
First of all, they're some big guys. They're strong. And from what I saw, these guys want to win. They want to win, and because they play hard. And like Coach said, they are good guys. They are really good players. And so I'm excited to just push them to be even great Gamecocks.
Hey, Travian, Andrew Lyon of Gamecocks Digest on SI.com. Obviously, you're going to be in a unique position here because you'll be coaching the interior defensive lineman, whereas there's usually one defensive line coach. So you'll be working very closely with edge coach Sterling Lucas. Have you gotten to meet him yet, and how excited are you to get to work with him?
Yeah, I met Sterling several times. We talked, but I'm very excited. Really, we talked 10 minutes before this interview started. And so I'm excited to get started with him. I heard a lot of great things about him being a recruiter, how he relates to the players, and he's a great coach. So I'm supposed to meet up with him here soon on the road somewhere. So I'm excited. I'm very excited to work with him.
When you're out trying to evaluate guys to come play for you your position, what are those main characteristics, traits you're looking for in a D tackle?
For me, a guy that loves football. One thing I learned when I was at Albany State is you don't spell love L-O-V-E. You spell love T-I-M-E. And you can't go in to your home and tell your wife, hey, I love you, without spending time. So I look for guys that really love football and that wants to be here. That's important. You recruit a lot of guys that wants a lot of different things nowadays, but I'm looking for guys that wants to be here and that wants to win.
Travian was just wondering when you think about your time here as a player, what game memory stands out for you?
Oh man, we had some memories, man. The game for me will be, I think everybody will say this, will be the Alabama game. Can I say 2 games? Sure. All right, so Alabama game was one. As you know, that was number 1 in the nation, and it was a 3:00 game, and we were the underdogs. And they had, all the great NFL players. They had Julio, all those guys. They had them, and for us, they just thought it was going to come in and roll over us. And the great thing about us is we was a close locker room, and we stuck together. We wasn't perfect, but when we did things together as a unit, it was beautiful. The second game will be Florida game. That was huge. That week, all you heard, and I was so tired of hearing it, and I'll never forget it, was how good Florida was. They got this and they got that. And I really looked in our locker room and I was like, man, we got Alshon Jeffrey. We got Stephon Gilmore, we got Melvin Ingram, we got me, we got Marcus Lattimore, we got Steven Garcia, all the greats. I'm like, why are we talking about these guys? And so right before the game, 5 minutes before the game, I brought everybody up and basically said, hey, they're good, but we're good too. In the opening play of that game, they ran a kickoff return back for a touchdown. Sorry, I apologize. I remember that. I'm sorry about that, but we overcame it. We did, and we overcame it quick. And that game, it was special because I remember Coach saying all we had to do was beat Georgia, Tennessee, and Florida, and we had a shot at playing on the big stage, and we did that. I thank y'all. Thank y'all.